Good morning, my rogue readers. My name is Erin Rogoff, and welcome back to my booktube channel, where I will let you know one really cool thing that is an update on my life and that of my best friend. So, my best friend had a baby. I am no longer just Erin, I am Auntie Erin. So, I am very excited to eventually meet my godson when COVID is all over and I can go visit her. So that will be one of the best days ever because I've seen videos of her son, whose name is Galwin, and I adore him already. And my head is exploding because I am so excited to be Aunt Erin, and I will spoil that little prince, and the sun will rise and set upon his head. I am not even joking there. Anyway, with the book that I will be discussing today, it is The Wildlands by Paul Greci, Part 2. Where did we leave off? I actually have a bunch of notes here. Travis and Jess traveled north with their mom and dad to find a safe town where they could stay and actually live, not just survive, and supposedly rebuild their lives. And then Travis and Jess and their parents meet another family of survivors by a large river, a mom, a dad, and 2 young daughters. Jess gets into a fight with the daughters and storms away. Travis follows her, indirectly saving his life as well. And Travis and Jess hear gunshots going, and they jump into the river and hide behind a bunch of rocks. So they're out of view from the gunmen who unfortunately killed Travis and Jess's dad. Travis sees his dad's lifeless body floating downriver, and their mom, nowhere to be seen, so we do not know if she is alive or dead. However, there is still a possibility that she could have been kidnapped by the gunmen, even though that's also highly unlikely. Travis gets one of the cash jars and finds a note written to him and Jess from their parents. One of these, if you're reading this, that means I'm dead, sort of letters. Travis comes to the realization that he has to be literally everything for Jess now. Brother, father, mother, protector, and he and Jess are on their own now, which is so scary, but it also makes a note on how mature Travis is because he is willing to protect his sister at all costs, which I highly respect in a real person or in a fictional character, so kudos to him. What did I like about part 2 of The Wildlands? There is so much that I liked that I could only narrow it down to 5 things and a few subsections. I loved the added cast. Willa, Randy, Tam, Maxine, Mike, and Dylan. However, that last part, I didn't exactly care for him. However, Willa was the leader of the female quartet. I say was because she was killed. And then there's also Randy, who is another survivor who was also killed, so technically she's not a survivor anymore. And then Tam, who seems to be Travis's potential love interest, and she is also handy with a bow and arrow, so I also really like that about her. With Maxine, she prefers to be called Max, and she bonded with Jess, and she is also very motherly in her nature, so I really liked that about her character. And Travis and Jess, they did join the female quartet and protect them. And then moving on to the other characters, Mike and Dylan. Mike, he was saved by Travis. He is Dylan's older brother and has a much better grasp on reality than Dylan. And then Dylan, who is the one character that I honestly do not like whatsoever. He was also saved by Travis. He is Mike's younger brother, and he is completely delusional and odd. And I do not like him as a character whatsoever, just because I don't trust him. Moving on. I also loved how Travis and his friends, not Dylan, are retaining their humanity and believing that there's still some good somewhere out there in the world, even though Travis did kill a guy. Paul Greci is able to have me on the edge of my seat in excitement and in anxiety. He has readers thinking Jess is dead after she falls into the fissure, but then all is well for her because she and Travis are reunited. That scene alone had my heart in my throat. The next thing is sort of a love and hate thing because there is the mystery of Mike's death. I love that mystery, and I also hate that mystery, because Paul Greci has us wondering if Mike fell into the fissure or if he was pushed by his own brother, who is now technically a murderer. And then I also loved Travis's feelings towards Tam and the development there. So in part 3, tell me they get together. Oh my gosh, I have nothing bad to say about that. I want more. I am definitely going to be reading this for the rest of the day until I finish this book. Moving on to what I disliked about the book, and there are actually a few things, but it doesn't detract from how well the book is written, if that makes any sense at all. The first thing that I disliked is Dylan. Like I said before, he is delusional and odd, and that is putting it nicely. He is following along with his psychopathic father's ideas about burning down all of Alaska and making it pure from the unclean. And if you ask me, that reminds me of Ash Landers from Black Butler with all this pure and unclean and purify, all this sort of talk. That is just absolutely ridiculous, and I just had a vision of Dylan looking like Ash Landers, the animated character. And then the other thing that I disliked was how Mike and Dylan's dad killed their mom, and then Mike had to be the one finding their mom's corpse in the water. Let's just say that scene was very descriptive and painted a very disturbing image. Okay? Okay. As far as reviews go, this rugged survival story places a group of teens in a dark, burned-out, post-apocalyptic nightmare. Your heart will pound for them as they face terrible dangers and the impossible odds. That review is from Emmy Laybourne, author of the Monument 14 trilogy. Now, I have all the books in the series, but I have not started reading them yet. Forgive me. Another review is a compelling story that wouldn't let me stop reading. Greci has created both a frightening landscape and characters you believe in and want to survive it. That review is written by Eric Walters, author of the Rule of 3 series. I do not have that book yet, but I definitely want to. And then the third and final review that I will talk about right now is from Lex Thomas, author of the Quarantine series, which I absolutely love. And I have all 4 books, but I've only read Quarantine the Loners, as in book 1 so far. But anyway, let me get right into the review. A brutal vision of things to come, Greci delivers an apocalyptic odyssey that's honest, relentless, and backed by his first-hand knowledge of the wilderness. I love this book for so many reasons. I can't even begin to describe all of them, but I think what drew me to the book first was the cover art, because I love books about teenagers, and I also love books with a natural sort of setting, not just fantasy and science fiction and young adult fiction and romance. I love survival fiction. I basically love anything survival fiction. So The Wildlands is the perfect book for me to read, and I definitely recommend it to you guys. So that is all for today, so if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button to show some support, subscribe to my booktube channel to get more videos like this, turn those notifications on to be notified when I have a brand new video uploaded, keep on reading, and have a great day, everyone!